What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm MoedotJ and we are locked in. This is episode 12 of Queens, and there was a little break in between the last episode and now, so we need to get caught up a little bit. We know that Brianna is dead / she's alive. She went off to a little island. She's still down there. Valeria, she ended up getting married. Little Muffin, she's trying to figure out what she's going to do, and she dropped a little. It's just Muffin. Jill, she's out here. They tried to sign a young white girl. It didn't work out. Naomi and Eric, they're trying to co-parent, and now we need to make some money for Nasty Girl Records. But before we jump into this episode, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you'll be a part of it. Hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button, it's the easiest thing you can do. Now the ladies, they got to figure out a way to bring in some money. No one's doing anything really. We just sitting around waiting because no one's music is generating any money. So let's jump into it. This is episode 12 of Queens. Eric and Naomi, they got Brianna's house and they're living together and they're doing this co-parenting thing with Jojo. Now they're here, they're loving it with each other. You got to remember, Eric still has his own room, but every now and then he gets to sneak on in Naomi's room. It was only going to be a matter of time before these two got back in the bed with each other, and y'all knew that. Eric wants to know what they are. He wants to have this family type environment at the house, him and Naomi together, and she knows that he's been wanting her. But she's saying we're just roommates and occasionally we get into bed with each other. But he's saying roommates don't say them kind of things that you were saying last night to me, girl. She's like, yeah, well, how can I know if I can trust you or not? You should have thought about that before you decided to move in with each other, before you decided to sleep with each other. But the question is, how can he trust you when you had a kid that's 20 years old and you never told him about it until this year? So don't pull the trust card on my dog, Eric, because how can we trust you, Naomi? Now, Miss Valeria, she's excited. You remember she recorded a song. She is one of the artists on Nasty Girl that actually had a record that actually popped. Now, her and her new husband, they're sitting here and they're waiting on the new billboards to come out to see if she has the #1 song or not. And it turns out Valeria has the #1 song on the Latin music charts. She starts crying because she said 6 months ago she never wrote a song on her own. So now she finally has a song that she actually wrote and it went #1 on the charts. Now, while they were waiting on this #1, they were actually at the hospital. So Miss V, she went in there, she got an ultrasound and it's not looking good because the doctor's saying, do you want your husband to come in here? You got to remember that Valeria, they were about to go on tour. Well, she was going to do a little solo tour on her own because she got the #1 song. No point of going with the Queens when you got that #1. But she's saying, no, I want to know what's going on. We get to see Miss Jill and she's in here working out. Got to keep that body right. You know, it can't be no queen and be sloppy. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep it tight, ladies. But she's in here and she's hearing about the trial of her ex-husband. Because you remember, he's the one that actually pulled the shot that allegedly killed Brianna. Now, Valeria comes back and the doctor told her what they seen on the ultrasound. So she's telling her husband that she thought about a bright future and having all these people around her and she's very happy. But you can tell she's feeling kind of down. Now, the ultrasound came back and said that she may possibly have cancer. Now, we got to get the crew back together because we need to know what Nasty Girl Records is going to do moving forward. Now, Muffin, we're going to put her on tour. We're going to be targeting colleges for her. Now, she has a whole new rebranding. She's talking about she doesn't know how she's going to go from talking about drugs, cocaine, anime to, you know, nonviolent crime offenses. But it's something that they can do to change her image. And that's a whole target audience. Hey, you know, Nickelodeon and stuff, they pick up all of that. That's where the bread is. Don't worry about the adults. The kids is where the money is at. Now, they bring up Valeria and her going on tour. She's the only one bringing in money right now. They got a #1 song on Nasty Girl Records. She sold out the first 5 nights. Everybody like, yeah, we getting money. But V, she's not really feeling it because she just got the information about potentially having cancer. Eric, the manager, he's back to thinking business. We got Muffin going on the road. We got V going on the road, even though she doesn't seem excited about it. This is the 20th anniversary of Nasty Girls going quadruple platinum. We're going to re-release the album. So Eric is about to try to make this happen because you want to start generating some type of money. As of right now, at least we got a plan in play to bring in and generate some kind of money. But Naomi gets a text message. Field goal trial update. Jury deliberates, finished. Verdict to be announced live. Now, this is for Jill's ex-husband and him with his attempted murder charges. When they go in there and check the news station, field goal trial, verdict announced. Guilty on all 3 first-degree attempted murder charges. Everybody's like, yeah, he needs to go to jail for this. Now Jill starts crying. They even got live audio in the courtroom where Darren is talking. He talk about, I didn't do this. Jill made me do it. God will judge your self-acts, Jill. Now she's crying because she's putting all the blame on herself. This dude's a weirdo, but we knew that from the beginning. He's a black man living up in Montana with Jill the Thrill. Like, come on, man. That just doesn't add up. That should have been what you guys call a red flag. Now, Jill is coming hard on herself. You know, it's still an ex-husband, so there was still some kind of love there. But for him to put this blame on her, the things he did, I don't agree with. Everything he did was on him. Now, her messing around and not telling him, she should have communicated that she wasn't happy there. But everything he did, the reaction to it, horrible. That's on him. But Jill, you shouldn't put this blame on yourself. Right now, what Valeria is going through is catastrophism. That's where you're thinking of the worst scenario that could possibly come from her potentially having cancer. And she's telling her husband, you didn't sign up for this. And he's saying, I did. But let's not think the worst, the extreme until we actually find out and get the results. So he's saying, look, I wanted to marry you. I'm going to stick with you throughout whatever you have going on. And normally what you see with people, they either think the worst or the best option, like the scenario, but usually it's right there in the middle. When they go in there and they talk to the doctor, it turns out that it's not cancer. It's just fibroids that she has. But what she is saying is that there is a potential chance that the window of having a child is closing. They could potentially come and have to take her uterus later on. So the decision to go on the road for her tour, if her condition gets worse, then yeah, she might need to come up off the road. But now she also has that decision to make. Does she want to have kids now or progress and see if it gets worse or not, and then potentially not be able to have any? Valeria and her husband, they have the decision to make. She's saying she wants his input on it, and he's saying, well, it's not my body. I don't have to go through the things you do. So whatever you decide, I'm going to support. And she's saying, well, you said you wanted to have kids. And of course, he did want to have kids with her. But the scenario changes. We got to go with what we have now. But they ultimately decide that they're going to go ahead and try to have some kids. That means the Nasty Girl Records, they're not going to have their #1 selling artist independently, because Valeria is the only one with an album or a song out going on tour. Mr. Eric. Well, it turns out his ex-wife is Robin Givens. Fellas, anyone with any kind of money, stay away from her. After we seen how she robbed Mike Tyson, stay away from her. Now, these two, they were married. He hasn't called her in 6 years. Now, what she's doing is she's saying, oh, I have money. You're going to have to pay for this meal, and I know you're going to go broke. And it turns out Eric actually gave her some of his masters in the divorce. What kind of silly crap was that? Because he wanted to keep a house in the Hamptons. I would have split that house, sold that house, kept my masters, because the masters are going to last forever. But this fool, he got the house foreclosed, and now Robin, she's rubbing it in his face. But hey, she was just putting on an act. She doesn't really have any issue with him. She's like, yeah, of course I'll give you the masters. You know what I'm saying? I'll sign over my part of it so you guys can go put it out. So that's good. She was just, being petty up front. But in reality, she was actually pretty good. But fellas, if you have something that's going to last a lifetime, make sure you get a prenup and you don't put nothing of value in it. Y'all can split the house, sell it. But the masters, no. Your stocks, no. None of that. Don't let them get any of that in your divorce. Your ass would be like Eric over here struggling. In the middle of this business meeting / rekindling something with my ex, Jojo ends up calling him. Now, this is where Eric messes up all the way. Robin, she sees and says, oh, she's kind of young. He's like, oh, no, that's Jojo. That's my daughter. I have a daughter. I would have just said, that's Jojo. That's one of the artists that we have on the label. Like, he just ruined it saying, that's my daughter, me and Naomi had. Now, you got to remember, Naomi was part of Nasty Girls. He used to manage them. He got married to Robin, and they got divorced over 6 years ago. So this was all before, and Robin knew who Naomi was. Now she's upset. Now she knows that this kid is from Naomi, and she's like, wait, you had a kid this whole time with Naomi, and you were married to me? Well, he didn't know that he had a kid, but still, now Robin is saying, oh, I'm not giving you anything. I knew you always wanted her, so no, I'm not giving you nothing. All you had to do is say, oh, no, this is Jojo, Naomi's daughter. She's on the label. You didn't have to say this is your daughter. Get the masters back. You were here for one thing and one thing only. You didn't want to sit here and have lunch with her. You didn't want to have to pay for this bill. You wanted to get your masters back. But now you just lost it. Now, not only do you not get the masters back, she's talking bad to you in front of everybody, and your broke ass got to sit there and listen to it. She's like, I got to be petty. That's the only thing you get. Now, you in front of all these good white folk. She about to storm off, ain't eat the meal. You got to pay for it. That bottle of wine, man, shoot, you getting busted over the head for at least 100 off of those 2 glasses. And then, man, good luck, Eric. Valeria comes back and she talks to Naomi. Now, you remember, she only had a scare of cancer, and Naomi wants to know why she didn't tell anybody. Well, most of the time, until you get the hard facts, you don't want anyone else to know, because you don't want other people worrying for you when you already have to worry about it yourself. You already thinking to the extreme that you may pass from this. But now she's telling Naomi that her and her husband, they're going to potentially have a baby. And Naomi is saying having a child and watching them grow, that's the best thing, better than being on any stage. Now, you didn't watch your child grow. Your child is 20 and you're finally in her life full time. But I mean, I guess you can see her grow from, 19 on up. And V is saying, what happened to Naomi? And they start crying together because we got a sisterhood moment. They aren't best friends. They're sisters. Jill and Muffin, they're walking and they're just talking about what they're going to do moving forward. Muffin's about to go on tour. She's telling Jill, you need to start recording again. Now, you remember Jill's ex-girlfriend Tia? Well, she shows up and Jill's, she's like, oh my God, we can have a conversation. Muffin looks over like, dang, have you always been this tall? Well, Jill gets a little shocked because Tia then moved on. She got a new girlfriend. Little Muffin, and she didn't spit out her coffee. She's like, oh, girlfriend, ooh. Eric has to come home and talk to Naomi. He sees V in there and he's like, let me talk to Naomi. And he tells her that we didn't get the masters. So Naomi, she's like, all right, well, let's pay him off a little bit, get the masters, and we'll just take less money on the back end. But he explains, nah, this is my ex, Robin. Now, you remember earlier he said he had to handle some business. So he put on the finest of linen, you know what I'm saying? Designer, got the cologne on, got to have the fragrance hidden because you're going to go see your ex-wife and you got to be good because you want to get these masters back. Now, Naomi, she's upset. Your ex-wife, this is where you went smelling like this? I knew I shouldn't have trusted you. She asked Eric, why does all your dumb decisions come back and bite us in the butt? And he's like, man, I went up there. I thought it was going to be easy. Go in there, get it. And now I'm up and out. But Jojo called and I had to explain that whole thing. Now, Naomi's talking about explain that thing, your dumb decisions. Naomi, all of these dumb decisions came from you. Now, if you would have told him you had a child 20 years ago, then he probably would have been with you. But your dumb decision to not tell him and have Cameron thinking it was his and then have it go live with your mom. These dumb decisions all come from you, because if y'all would have stayed together in a group and the dumb decision to not break up, then we wouldn't have this problem. Me trying to get y'all masters wouldn't have mattered because y'all still would have been putting out music. But, you got to always put the blame on somebody else. You never look in the mirror and blame yourself. Now, of course, Naomi has the right to be upset, and she's saying she doesn't believe anything that comes out of his mouth when he just told her he loved her. Now, we didn't already went over the spiel. How can he believe anything that comes out of your mouth, Naomi? It's a two-way street, but we ain't got the masters right now. That's the only thing that matters. We ain't got no money coming in. V's off the road. Jill, we don't even know what the hell she's doing. Yeah, it sucks. Tia and Jill, they get to talking, and Jill just looking, you could tell that she's kind of hurt because she has a new girlfriend and she's moved on. What she wants to do is apologize to Tia for putting her through all of this and saying that she's a good woman and she really misses what they had. But she's saying, no, that's not an apology. An apology should be you saying, I'm sorry, and apologizing about what you did, not going on a spiel of how good things were. But Jill really wants to make it up to her somehow because she sees that she lost a good thing. And right before Tia leaves, she says, you know what? You know what keeps me up at night? Knowing all the things that I did to you, Tia. Everything that was wrong. So you can see it. That's coming from the heart. Now, with everything going on with her dad being the asshole he is, her ex-husband getting charged with those 3 first-degree attempt murders, she's really hurt right now because Tia was actually there and supporting her. Naomi's starting to think about everything that's going on between her and Eric, and then also with his ex, Robin, and she decides, let me call her up. Let's have a woman to woman and actually sit down and talk about everything that's happened. Now, this woman to woman is what really needed to be had. You guys know I always say conversation rules the nation. If you can sit down and talk with somebody, 9 times out of 10, you can hash out your differences. You may not agree, but at least you can come to a common ground and you respectfully disagree with each other and you can go on about your way. Now, she's saying her beef isn't with Naomi, it's with Eric. But Robin says, no, my beef with Eric is because of you. And that makes sense because you never told anybody you had a kid till the kid was 20 years old. But now Robin's breaking it down and telling her, no, Eric really loves you. The whole time they was together, 6 years, she always wondered why he wouldn't look at her like how he did Naomi. So now Naomi's hearing that this whole time he only moved on because I pushed him away. I lied to him. Yeah, that happens to a lot of guys. They want somebody, they get pushed out, so they got to move on with their life. Sometimes it ain't what they want to do, but sometimes it's good for them. But hey, a lot of them, they go back to that first one that they really loved. Me, on the other hand, that's dead. Jill goes with little Muffin. Now, it turns out, you remember originally, Jill took Muffin up under her wing, but the tables have turned because Jill's in a time of need, and Muffin is actually the one giving her advice. Jill's like, man, I should apologize. I should do this. And then, and Muffin is like, yeah, I mean, you should apologize for the things you did. And what better way to do it than to get on the track? She gets in there and she start rapping. I'm like, all right, this is actually pretty decent. I don't know who wrote it for her, but I'm like, this is actually pretty good, especially if she's supposed to come off the top of her head. Either that or she had these lyrics pinned up on the inside and she finally got a beat that she can express herself to. Now, she has an apology song. She records it and she sends it to Tina. If I'm Tina, I would have listened to it. I probably would have deleted it. Like, I'm not about to listen to this crap. But Jill put her heart out on this. And in the whole song, you hear her mentioning, Tina, I'm sorry. I can't do without you. You gave me a new light. I'm like, all right, cool. That's how you get that. Hey, you want to get that love back? You got to fight for it. And that's what Jill did on this track. She apologized to the one she loved. Naomi comes back to the house after talking to Robin. And the first thing she says is, we're good. She got the masters back from Robin. They hashed it out. They settled their differences and they're going to move on, leave the past in the past. But when she says we're good, Eric looks at her and says, are we? Because yeah, the masters are good, but what are we? Between you and I, Naomi and Eric, what is it? Are we good? She comes over there. She gets close to Eric and she's really starting to think, Robin was right. This guy does love me. Everything he's been doing, he wanted to be in their daughter's life. He wanted to do the co-parenting thing. So he's doing everything he can possibly to make it happen. It just needed Naomi to give in, to take part in this, to buy in on the relationship between the two. She lays her head on his chest and tells him she loves him. We got the masters back. It's the 20-year anniversary, 4-time platinum. That's quadruple, people. That means 4 million records sold. The only female artist group to do this. Now, they're talking about, man, this is lovely, man. I wish Bree was here. She's like, the last time I FaceTime her, she was glowing. Now V talking about that's that saying. That's that natural foliation. Exfoliate, you know what I'm saying? You put that on your face. So Brianna's living it up, but she ain't coming back. You know what I'm saying? She gonna go live on that beach with them kids. Now with some young ladies that come up there and they see all the queens. They're like, oh, our mom used to go to y'all concert. Can we get some autographs? All the girls are signing it. My bad. Women are signing it. The queens are signing it. They're like, oh, Muffin, can you even sign it too? Like, damn, okay, we got that celebrity life again. Now it's time to do the presentation of the queens. 20-year anniversary, quadruple platinum. Who's in a nasty mood tonight? Who wants to see the nasty girls perform? I'm talking about nasty. You hear everybody in the crowd, nasty, nasty. Like, yeah. I'd be over there getting them free drinks though. The hell with them nasty girls. Y'all go get nasty. I'm going to get tipsy. After that night, the women decide, you know what? We need to go ahead and do this little tour. We need to get it cracking. This is what we started. We need to finish it. They all come together. They hugging. Hey. It's time to get the ball rolling, ladies. And how do we get that practice in? We got to start freestyling. They play that, ooh, chee wally wally, ooh, chee bang bang, ooh, chee wally wally. Yeah, Naomi kicks off that freestyle. there you go, episode 12 of Queens. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that it's good that Brianna isn't coming back? I mean, she's probably got another show. Eve probably has another show or something that she's doing. But what do you think is going to happen with JoJo? Is she going to start rapping? Are they going to bring her on tour with them? Let me know what you guys think. I'm MoedotJ. If you like the content on our channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.